All right, we are live today. Maybe what I should do is move this here. Okay, so that doesn't take the little carrot into the frame. And then I can still prefer a plain background. Sweet, and I can move here instead. Okay, so it's a pretty hot day still today. This room is burning up. That looks good. Okay, so today I'm working on some patient notes. Usually I would prefer not to bring clinic work home, but these days with daylight savings, it's getting dark pretty quickly. So I would like to go home earlier, just so that I don't attract any funny people when I'm walking to the car. You never know, sometimes people will come and bash your head in, so it's best to avoid that. So the first thing to do is just checking the receipts. So no matter how much you trust your staff, as a business owner, you always want to count your money, just because you want to know where every single dollar is going in and out, and that way you can keep track and keep everything afloat. So I'm doing this right now. I normally do this when I'm in the clinic before heading home, but sometimes if it's a busy day, you just gotta bring work home. What I would rather be doing at this time of the day is coding, is creating the app, um, going to the next stage of features. That's what I want to do. But sometimes life is like this. Okay, so we've got this little EPC thing. Medicare does up to 5 visits for any allied health profession. So that includes chiro, that includes physio, I don't know what else, podiatry. And when you get these 5 visits, what it does is Medicare pays the allied professional $60. That's in 2025. And the professional can choose to do it bulk bill, so you don't have to do any gap from your own money. They say, okay, Medicare says it's $60, so I say it's $60. Or you can do what we do, which is saying our usual fees are $90. So if Medicare pays 60, it means that 30 comes from you, the patient. So I'm doing that right now. This patient has used 3 of the Medicare visits. So let's see if that's correct. Invoices. Yep, that looks right. And he should also be in this little notes here where my assistant would write their name down so I can keep track whether Medicare has paid us or not. And Medicare has paid us for the day before, but not 2 days before, but not yesterday yet. So we'll just put this away for now. Cool, that's done. Next. Okay, so that's done for yesterday. Oh, my trouble seems so far away. Oh, I believe. Okay, new patients paid. Existing has paid. These 2 using. So we also have this thing called the 6-pack, where if a patient is wanting to do our program properly, they will pay six visits in advance. So for us, it's good because it because it's good for cash flow. People pay for multiple visits in advance. And for the patient, it's better because it's at a discounted rate. So instead of $90, it's at $70 instead. To me, that's a big savings, right? $20 times 6 visits, $120. What can you do with $120 these days? Go out to eat twice. What else can you do? $120. You can go to a theme park. What else is $120 these days? Fine dining for two. I don't go out fine dining too much, so I don't really know the cost of it, but it should be about $60, right? Per person? Maybe it's gone up these days. 14. Whew, it's a hot day. Hot day. Okay, so this person is sharing his six-pack with his wife. So we'll look in her file instead. 14. Yep, that's done. So 140. How come it's 140? 1, 2, 3. Oh, okay. Maybe she's used it for the husband too. Oh yeah, oh wait. Oh yes. So she used the previous one for the husband as well. Okay, that's done. This person's done. This person's done. One the day before. Yep. Okay. And this person is done. So this is probably the person who paid cash the other day. Yep. And this person's on the six-pack. Yep. And this other person's on the six-pack too. So it's something that most people, we don't really advertise the six-packs, just because we want to focus on the scheduling, on the program, rather than the whole finance side of it too much. But if people ask, if we offer alternatives to single visit payments, we'll say yes, and then we'll show them what the six-pack can do for them. Cool, that's done. This person's done as well. Cool. And this one, and this one, and that is it. Done. So we have finished the payments. Now we're going to go to the notes. So earlier this year, I made my first app. It is a desktop app, so it's something that you install into your computer. It was pretty hard to find out how to make an executable. So whenever you have the little desktop icon on your computer, the one you can click and it opens the app, that's called an executable. You can execute the app, the program. But there were a lot of instructions on how to do it for Windows, but not for Mac. I tried various ways last year and it failed every time. And then late last year, around December, around Christmas time, someone put out a video on YouTube, and this video finally showed me how to do it. Instead of using what was the key ingredient to it? Oh, instead of using the terminal window to write the commands, he wrote everything into a py file, into a Python file, and that made it easier, streamlined, and also it involved an image. So whenever you make an executable for Macintosh, you need an image for that. And by using that, it actually creates a usable, clickable application. So anyway, this application that I made, what it does is it allows me to key in where the issues are for that patient. So let's say, for example, um, if I find problems with these 5 bones, and I want to categorize it as there's 2 major issues and 3 minor ones, right? So we use color coding. The two major issues we use the color red, and the 3 minor issues we use the color green. And it also shows us shows the location. So it basically it's an image. It generates an image, a PDF image um, of a skeleton with individual bones, and um, it color codes the bones that have major issues or minor issues. I also added a function for muscles. So um, whenever the patient has tight or weak muscles, it also color codes it as yellow and or blue respectively. So I used to do it manually. I used to color using my computer, like Microsoft Paint, but the Mac version of it, I used to color um, uh, the issues into a picture. But these days, I just tick the different things. So it's like checking a multiple choice questionnaire. It's a really long questionnaire with all the potential areas of issues. But once I click it and then I press submit, it'll generate the image for me within. Usually it takes about 5 seconds. Not very quick, but again, it still saves me time. So let's fire this up. I think yesterday I had how many? So we usually create new images for new patients, which we had one yesterday. And we also create images for review. So every 5 sessions, we review a patient, meaning we want to see whether the issues are improving. Because I always have this philosophy that the issues usually happen from the inside out. So you have problems in the bones, but you don't feel it. You don't have symptoms, right? So the outside is what the patient feels. But as they go along, what happens is over time, so it could be years, it could be months, it could be weeks, it could be days, but at some point, once the problems start to surface, so it goes to more either it pinches a nerve or it goes to more like the muscles or tendon layers rather than the joints and bones, patients start to feel something. So I'm always more interested in monitoring and tracking how the inside part is doing, because patients can't feel it, but we can feel it when we're palpating, when we're checking the patient physically. So it's a good way. Every 5 visits, we do a review, and I will generate a new image so they can compare. Right? It'll be also cool to have this feature in the future. If I could actually have a screen in the treatment room, a screen maybe like a TV screen. Like these days, TV screens are all rectangle landscape, right? But if you can sort of split down, and then on the left side, it shows the previous image, and then on the right side it shows the recent one, and you can compare. The less red segments you have, the better you're getting. It's just a nice visual tool to have, but I'll try to implement that into the app that I'm working on. But for now, I need to do the notes. So I'm just using Google to check the time now, because I have to leave at about 2 p.m., which is about an hour from now. And as I've mentioned in other videos before, my laptop's time is not always working well, so it's not reliable anymore. And what's the use of a clock if it's not reliable, right? It doesn't have any function. So at some point I'm going to buy a new computer, but not now. Okay, so this person is booked in for next week. So we had a new patient yesterday. Shall we talk about the new patient? As long as I don't reveal details, personal details, it's okay, yeah? As long as I don't reveal, it's like a case study. Call it case study. Okay, so patient has a history of being a courier. So someone who drives and delivers, drives to people's houses and also delivers the packages. A lot of times it's something you can hold in front of you. but because of the nature of it and because of the vehicle, sometimes the packages are packed deep into the vehicle, so they have to climb in and out of the vehicle to get things. This is what they used to do. So what's the chances of this activity in the past contributing to issues they have right now? Pretty high, I would say. Currently, I won't say the current job because that might be revealing too much, but it's less physical than before. Just put less physical. So the main thing for notes for new patients is I want to understand what they've been, what their body's been through, what their body's going through now. Are they doing too little, too much exercise, for example? What kind of work do they have? Are they sitting a lot? Are they on their feet a lot? What are ways that we can use to balance the lifestyle of this person so that we can look after their body better? I had an injury, low back injury. It's about 6 weeks ago. Let's put related to workout. So this patient also workout. Can't remember how many times a week. I just put question mark /week, and then I'll ask them the next time to confirm. Very tight left glutes, so that's the left bum muscle. Right lower back refers to the lower back erector spinae muscle. These days I just use shorthand, so very, very simple notes. But I have a separate sheet like a reference sheet, so in case we get audited, the person can see, okay, what does this mean, and so on. Left upper back. So there's quite a few tight muscles that this person has. So we're going to color code it yellow later in the app. Okay, impact. Usually I put the symptoms. Lower back, onset 6 weeks ago. Ready to work out. Okay, so related to new workout, because there was a new exercise that they did. It's not something they're used to, and that usually increases the chances of injury. Related to new workout, I'll just put horizontal. Is it horizontal dumbbell flies? What's the name for that? Let's go with it. Horizontal dumbbell flies. Fly. Okay. No, that's not the one. So what is that? Standing horizontal dumbbell retract. What is it called? Okay, maybe I'll just put standing horizontal abduction dumbbell, horizontal dumbbell abduction, adduction, because that's what it is, right? It's this one here. So related to injury and not healing well. So usually with these issues, maximum 6 weeks, 3 to 6 weeks it should take to heal. If it's not completely gone by the six week plus, then it's time to look at ways to look after yourself better in ways that you can't do yourself, right? Because a lot of people, they rest, and that's looking after yourself too. But if that's not enough, that's why you need to seek help from people like myself. So I haven't given any exercises to the person, which is fine. Default. So treatment techniques, the standard that we usually do. Cool. So we'll save this one here, and we'll also make a. So I'm using my ad now. It looks like a very old early 2000s type of app. Very clunky gray background and everything, boring looking, let's put it that way, but it gets the job done. So left glutes, I'm gonna check that. Right lower back, right middle back, left upper back, left traps. These are the issues there. Okay, so there's a small issue in the sacrum. L1 in the lower back has a big one. L5 small. Okay, T10 is a big issue. T5 is a small one. 7 and 3 are moderate, so let's put them as green. So green color means that it's a minor issue, right? So we still treat it, but it's usually nothing that will cause the body to not function properly. So let's say if you have all green issues, no red issues in your spine, in your body, this injury should heal within 6 weeks. Okay, so I'm getting it to generate the little picture now. And usually I'll also pop it into Google Keep so that my assistant can send this to the patient. When she sees a new picture, she'll SMS it to them. So it's loading. It's probably more than 5 seconds now. So sometimes it can take up to 10 seconds, I guess. It's a slow ad, but works. Done. So I'm just going to drag this to the patient's file and to my assistant's section. And we can see a beautiful little skeleton thing here. So these are reasons why I might show my little screen to the video in the future. But for now, I'm a bit paranoid. I might reveal some sensitive information to the world. Okay, so red is done. I've done the notes for that. Now there are a few review patients, review visits too. We've got 2 from yesterday. I've done them once on Monday, so that's fine. Okay, so we go to this patient here. This poor little thing. So a lot of patients, I'm talking about someone else now. So a lot of patients would they're a victim of a car accident, and usually I myself started my journey as a chiropractor from a car accident, right? So a lot of these ones, compared to things like ankle sprains or like sleeping funny and then you wake up with an issue, or sports injuries or lifestyle issues from sitting too much and things like that. Car accidents are a very, very tricky one because you've just put your body through a very, very extreme event, right? Usually moving at velocities that your body was not designed for. So what I mean by this is, how fast does Usain Bolt run? And he's the fastest man in the world, right? Run speed, okay. 44, so that's pretty fast. 44 kilometers per hour, 27 miles per hour. So that's pretty fast. I was going to say maybe 20-ish, 28. Okay, but for the rest of us, normal people, maybe 20 plus, right? 20 plus, 25 maybe, like when you're full of energy and you're giving your best for 5 seconds, 10 seconds top speed. And that's cars where I live, in school zones where you're supposed to go very, very slow, it's 40 kilometers per hour. That's slow, right? But the fastest human is 44 kilometers. So slow for a car is the fastest speed for humans, right? So my point is this: our bodies are not meant to have changes of velocity, acceleration or deceleration, the kind that we see in car accidents. So whenever you have a deceleration like that, the brain gets confused. Like there's a lot of long-term changes that happen as a result of that. A lot of people think it's how you feel right after. It's not. It's actually, like in my case, I didn't feel anything until one year later, right? So 1 year later, my spine started to seize up. It became very stiff, very rigid. Some people get extreme nerve pain. I didn't have that, but a lot of people do, especially people who are older when the accident happened. So this poor patient who came yesterday, couple of years now. So a couple of years now where he's had this issue. I would say that before seeing me, he wasn't looking after himself from the inside out too well. But now he is, right? He's doing things very well. He's still keeping up the stuff that he used to do before, but he's just adding one more component, which is what the treatment does. And as a result, you know, from the inside, from the review, he is getting better in the bones, so there's less red issues. But in terms of how he feels, it's to him it's very similar to what it was before. So all he can do is just to trust what the body can do. Is remember the main principles. What are the foundation principles? Body is very good at healing, right? Granted, this is an abnormal event, car accidents, super high speeds, body not designed to do that, but still, the body will heal to a certain degree. As long as he keeps doing what he's doing now, look after his body from the inside out, over a meaningful period of time, things will improve, right? What is the alternative? Do nothing, and then definitely things won't improve. So you might as well control what you can, right? So anyway, just as a human being, I also empathize with him. Must be so frustrating, so confusing, but you just got to do what you can do with someone like that. I mean, what else can you do, really? Do your best. That's with him. Stay positive, and hopefully he keeps sharp. Hopefully he keeps motivated, keeps sharp. That's all you can hope for. So I gave him a new exercise yesterday, using a little trigger point massage ball to release the traps, because that's the weakest link at the moment. I'm just gonna update his previous notes. So right pec minor ball wall, using the same tool but different muscle. Okay, let's update the different muscles here as well. It still makes sense to keep track of his still makes sense to keep track of this one. Mobilize right clavicle or rib 1 sitting, because that's where the nerve is being pinched from the scans. Pec minor is way better, so we're just going to put this down. So it says here he's got an upcoming appointment with surgeons, so I haven't asked him about that one. I might in the future. Left gluteal, everyone has tight glutes, man. Left infraspinatus and right trap. So I'll put a little priority thing to this, because I was meant to ask him about the upcoming appointments with surgeons. MRI in 2024, cervical, advanced degeneration worse than 2022 scan, TOS compressed right brachial plexus and subclavian artery between blah, blah, blah. Cool. That's updated. So, okay, aquarobics is back to that. I think it's doing 2 times a week now. 2 times of aquarobics per week. Yeah, so the accident was back in 2021. It's quite a while ago. But again, to me, from what I've seen, he's been looking after himself from the outside in, not the inside out. So this is a different approach, which means that he's only been seeing me since late last year. So nerves can take a long time to heal. I'm optimistic. I keep telling him I'm still optimistic about this case. Okay, so that's done. We're gonna make the little image now. So I have these input where I put their name, first name, last name, and frequency. So the program, usually people see me once a week, and then once every 2 weeks, and then once every 3 weeks. And we tend to keep 3 weekly for the long term. So right now he's gone to 3 weeks, which is good. Left glutes, left infraspinatus, and right traps. Other issues there. We've also got his clavicle. So I don't have certain smaller bones in my notes, but that's okay. The main one is humerus. Yeah, so I'll just put the scapula because that's the closest the closest thing to the clavicle. Left pelvis has a big issue. L3, L1 minor. I think the rest are all minor. That's why we moved him up from 2 weeks to 3 weeks. Yep, everything else is minor. C6, C3. So the main one is left pelvis and the bunch of muscles and the traps, which is probably sensitive because of the nerve impingement. But I've still decided to give him something to do at home for those ones. So now we're waiting for the image to generate. Again, it takes up to 10 seconds potentially. So let's wait. Let's drink some tea. Let's check the time as well. What time is it now? 1:16. Okay, so we've got plenty of time before we start to leave. And that syncs well with my laptop notes. With my laptop clock. Okay. Cool. So that's loading into the app. Let's see how it looks. It looks nice. It looks very, very nice. Cool. And it's done. Yeah, I noticed so there are a few things that a patient can go through. So the first one is very smooth and immediate symptomatic relief. And at the end of the day, a lot of what patients care about, right, for most people, is how they feel, right? So at the start, some people get very, very obvious and very quick symptomatic relief. Now that can be a good or bad thing, because good for them, bad because it doesn't promote real long-lasting change, because that's what they're used to, right? People are used to outside-in approaches, right? You feel a certain way, you want to numb it. You want to numb what the body feels and get on with your life. Even though it's an inside-out approach, if they feel better quick, they're stuck in that same paradigm, in that same mindset, right? And nothing changes. No education takes place. What I prefer is the second pathway, which is patients improve steadily. So it's noticeable, but it's not like they're looking at you like a magician, So it's something that's more just like any other change in your body, like losing weight. When you reduce your calories in an extreme way versus in a steady way, right? It's something that unless you weigh yourself, you can't really track. Like unless you weigh yourself every week, you can't really notice the difference. But over time, over a meaningful period of time, you and other people can see. When you look back at old photos, for example, oh, I used to look like that 6 months ago. So those ways of that pathway of patient improvement is the best, because it's encouraging, but it's also something that because it's so realistic that it promotes good habits, right? Just like the weight loss is that you get used to eating a certain portion, a smaller portion, slightly smaller portion, and you never feel the need to go back. Whereas if you lose weight quick because you're reducing portions by half, something extreme, and then you lose 5 kgs in like 2 weeks or something crazy like that, the chances of you going back to old habits is very high, because it's just too extreme, So yeah, so steady is good. Slow and steady improvements is good, where they can feel, but it's not so godlike or like as if you're a magician. So whenever a patient says, "Oh, Dr. Kelvin, you're a magician," I feel worried because it means that they're going through the first one. They're getting rapid change, which is good for them in the short term, but in the long term, it doesn't promote. It doesn't. It doesn't. You're not actually making the patient look after. You're not helping the patient look after themselves better in the long term. You're just helping to get them happy in the short term. So that's not what I'm there for. The third one is something that so, the third pathway is something where patients don't get better at all, right? They feel no obvious change, no small changes. That's very discouraging. But of the patients who, for some reason, they just had faith in me, but they also had faith in themselves. But I guess most likely they're ready. They were ready to do something different, something a little more different from what they're used to, something a little bit more. I wouldn't say drastic, but something out of what they're used to. They're open to that. Probably that's the main thing, that their openness to different methods, despite not seeing any noticeable change in how they feel. They still stick it out for a long time. Some people can stick it out for multiple reviews, which is like 5, 10, 15 visits. But those who do, eventually they'll always tell me that they feel better. Eventually you reach a point where where they tell me that they notice something different, right? And then that's when they start to behave like the second group of people, right? They start to have some steady change after that. So for this category of people, it's okay because for those who are gutsy enough to stick it out, they will become better at looking after themselves. It's just that whether you're able to stick it out that much. A lot of people can't. A lot of people, the discouragement itself, they're just not ready to have that leap of faith, I guess. So they drop out earlier. It's just like someone who, again, a lot of people when they try to lose weight is the same, right? They don't see for some reason their body is just, maybe it's hormonal, it's genetic. They're a certain more endomorphic body type. Their body just genetically holds weight easier than the other than the average person. Very discouraging if you don't see even a small. If you're doing it for 3 months, right, changing your diet for 3 months, and you don't see, in your point of view, a worthwhile change, so you just give up, and that's it, and a lot of people don't. A lot of people, they just continue to do it, and eventually you'll see a result. There's no way, if you change your food, despite hormonal issues, if it's within a meaningful period of time, if you do it for like 1 year, 2 years, you'll see some results at the very least. It's just whether it's worthwhile for you. I guess that's a better question. That is it worthwhile, this lifestyle change? Is it worthwhile for you? Because it's harder for you than other people to get the same result. Is it worthwhile for you? And only you can answer that. No one else can answer that for you. Okay, let's go to. Okay, so my assistants just mentioned this one here, to get some toilet paper for the clinic. Sure. So let's transfer this toilet paper and disinfectant spray. All right, I'm gonna add this to my shopping list this weekend. Toilet paper, office, and disinfectant spray, office too. Cool. Let it load. So I use Google Keep for all of my my notes because it syncs so well. I love software that syncs multiple devices immediately. So good. So good. I just can't imagine people without all this technology before. It must have been so difficult to get this little thing done. Okay. So for this patient, we've moved on to another patient now. I've advised him to stay on his current plan, which is seeing me every 2 weeks. The reason is because he's still got a few noticeable issues. So the sacrum, 2 weeks, T8 in the middle back, and C2. So a couple of issues spread throughout that. This tells me he's 3 weeks might be not looking after yourself properly. So we taught him an exercise yesterday, sitting deadlift. It's one of my favorite ones these days because it helps to strengthen the lower back, which is super duper important. Flexion stretch. Okay, there's another one here. I'll just update the old upper back stretch, supine, low towel, easy arms horizontal. Cool. So I've updated those ones. Left gluteal, same thing. Everyone has tight glutes, man. Everyone has tight glutes. Right middle back and left suboccipital. Sweet. So that's done. So I'm going to retest. I've got to retest this up. Right, left shoulder flexion, range of motion. Flexion range of motion, positive. Standing. Missing 20 degrees. Right pelvis, left to low back, worse to stand. That's getting better. It's getting easier for him to do sit to stand, which is super duper. Lower neck related to stiff shoulders. Okay, so those are the areas that haven't improved too well. Done. Dinner's done. Dinner's done. So I just heard the news from GFL, Global Fight League. It's supposed to be one of the new MMA promotions. I was hoping that they would be able to launch successfully, but it seems like they're having some financial troubles. Their main financier, which I think is a tech developer or entrepreneur, decided not to go with it in the last minute, just a month before their first two events. What a shame. So now it seems like the founder of this promotion is trying to get fighters to fight without a purse. So saying that, okay, if this event does well and we've got profits, so we've got this, let's say $5 million, and then we've paid off whatever how much it costs to run this event. Let's say 1.5 million. We've got $3.5 million, which we'll share with across all the athletes, all the fighters. But if we don't get any profits, you're fighting for free, pretty much, right? So it reminds me of the old days of my career, where as a chiropractor, you're a subcontractor, right? You do things that an employer, you have the bad things that an employee has, right? Like set hours and things like that. No freedom of choosing your time, which is not how it should be. Subcontractors can have a lot of freedom. It's basically sole traders or a separate company. And what happened is, but you don't have the goodies of an employee. So you don't have paid super, you don't have OT, you don't have sick leave and things like that, right? So you can pretty much argue that this is borderline illegal, but that's what a lot of chiropractors do or did. I think they still do it. So basically, if I don't see any patients, I don't get money, but I don't lose money either, right? I just show up, and then they usually get you to do a lot of admin tasks for free, which is crazy. But that's the culture of it. So it reminds me of that, where you're gonna go fight, get bashed up, bash someone else up, risk your health, your life potentially, and you're not getting paid a purse, right? So you don't have any guarantee. You can, it's potentially, you don't lose any money, but you lose your health, but you might not also earn any money, which is, I mean, I don't know if anyone's going to say yes to that, but hopefully they get another financier who believes in them and is rich enough to get things going. It's always good to see interesting fights this way. Cool. So this was done. Let's load this image, and I think this is the last one for today. And then I can move on to writing a letter. So a patient of mine is moving back home overseas. She's helping her family look after a newborn baby the last couple of months, and she's been doing really well. But I think she's gonna have trouble continuing back home because, firstly, momentum, especially the early stage. She's only seen me for 5 or 6 times. Momentum is a real thing, and if you don't have momentum, it's not gonna work. But I've done all I can. I've taught her a couple of things to do at home. And next, I'm going to write a letter for her to bring to whoever she sees next. If she chooses to continue a program with someone at home, she will present this letter to them, and it'll be smooth sailing from then. But I have a strange feeling she will not do that, and that she will fall into old habits again and back to square one. But anyway, just do the best we can, yeah? Okay, so let's go to the patient's file folder. And we're going to write this letter. So I've written it halfway already. We just need to do the other half. Okay, so let's see the notes here. I'm listening to the same YouTube channel, Bunny Hop Up High. Today it says, "You're doing okayer than you think." And it's a thumb. The video is an image. Well, it's an image with audio at the back. The image is a little cow, a little calf, sitting on a mushroom with butterflies flying around. You're doing okayer than you think. It's so positive. Perfecto is what it is. Okay, so the title of this letter is called Heading Back Overseas. So a lot of patients will also ask, okay, when I go back home, because chiropractors are more rare than physiotherapists, because we're not mainstream. So a lot of them ask, I might have trouble seeing a chiropractor because it might be hard to find one. So is it okay if I see a physio? I say that's good. You're still looking after yourself. The approach is different, but hey, again, the main thing is what? You're looking after yourself better than you have been. That's all it's about. So no issues with that. Okay, right, Sadika. That's done. Cool. So this was done. Impact on daily life. That one's better. That's better. Cool, done. So I've pretty much written the letter yesterday already. I just need to finalize it. Okay, any typos? Nope. It's fine. Cool, update letter. And we'll send it to, I think the daughter is the one who does all these things. Hi, daughter. Please see attached letter for mom. There's letter for mom. Hope she continues to look after herself better than she has been past. Dr. Kelvin, Hope she continues to look after herself better than she has been in the past. Cool. And that's it. Boom, sent. That's done. So I've done the notes now. Now what can we do? There's about 20 minutes left before I head off. Okay, I might do some workouts. So yeah, I might do some workouts. So these days, what I do is I do 4 main exercises, and it's all strength based, right? Functional strength. So I watch what I eat in terms of portion wise. I don't snack anyway, and I don't eat until 11ish. So there's a slight, maybe not intermittent fasting, but there's a slight fasting component where I skip breakfast. And yeah, portion sizes, I try to control that, and then I don't do too much cardio, just because of time wise, but I do these 4 exercises every single day. So not all 4 every single day, but alternate. So let's say, for example, today I'll do 1 or 2, and then the next day I'll do 1. So it just keeps rotating the cycle. So today I'm going to do some squats, and also most likely some bent over rows. Those are the main 2. The other 2 are any press, so whether it's push-ups or just bench press with kettlebells, and the last one is are deadlifts. So all of them either body weight, but I prefer to have kettlebells with all of them, and not going more than 20% your body weight. So light weights, but somewhat to failure. Not to extreme fatigue, but you feel that you've reached a certain limit. So we'll keep doing this for a couple of more months. I can already see it's quite beneficial for myself. I can see that just body shape wise, it's a little different than before. Not super lean, but there's a shape. All right. Today's a short week, where Friday is Easter, so we've got time off. Clinic's closed. Family's gonna be home. Kids gonna be home, so we're gonna chill. We're gonna do fun things. Probably go to the park. I might. Can I do? I still can't do any streams at the moment. That's okay. In the future. Still can't do streams from my phone, is what I mean. All right. Pink Mushroom Home, we are out. Oops.